You know the feeling. It's 2 a.m., your body is ready for sleep, but your mind is still wide awake. You're replaying a conversation from last Tuesday, planning something that hasn't happened yet, and worrying about a decision you won't even need to make for another month. You feel mentally exhausted, but somehow your thoughts refuse to slow down. When this happens, it's easy to blame yourself. Maybe you think you lack discipline, or that you should simply be able to switch off. But overthinking is often driven by patterns such as perfectionism, fear of mistakes, discomfort with uncertainty, and habits your mind has learned over time. These patterns may begin as attempts to protect you from regret, embarrassment, or failure, but when they happen too often, they can become exhausting. Today, we'll explore 7 common triggers that can keep your mind in overdrive and how recognizing them can help you respond differently. The first trigger is one our culture often praises: perfectionism. It's the voice in your head saying, if this isn't perfect, I can't let it go. This goes beyond simply caring about quality. It's the belief that anything less than flawless means failure. Because of this, your mind keeps checking, fixing, and second-guessing everything. Good enough doesn't feel safe. You may finish a project, send an email, or complete a task, but instead of feeling relieved, your mind immediately searches for what might be wrong. Did I miss something? Could I have done it better? What if someone notices a mistake? This pressure can even lead to procrastination. You avoid starting because the expectation of doing everything perfectly feels overwhelming. Perfectionism may look like ambition from the outside, but underneath it is often a fear of being judged, disappointing someone, or not feeling good enough. When every small task feels like a test of your worth, your mind never gets a chance to rest. The second trigger is the fear of making mistakes. For some people, an error doesn't feel like a normal part of learning. It feels emotionally threatening. A simple decision, how to word a message, which option to choose, or when to speak up, can suddenly feel much bigger than it really is. Your mind starts asking, what if I choose wrong? Then it runs through every possible negative outcome, searching for an answer that feels completely safe. But complete certainty rarely exists. This can create analysis paralysis, where you spend so much time evaluating choices that taking any action becomes difficult. Sometimes this fear develops through past experiences. Maybe small mistakes were met with harsh criticism, embarrassment, or disappointment. Over time, your mind may have learned to treat errors as something dangerous rather than something normal. The goal becomes avoiding every possible mistake, but that goal is impossible, and trying to reach it keeps your thoughts constantly active. The third trigger is the need for control, which is often connected to discomfort with uncertainty. Our minds naturally prefer predictability. Knowing what comes next helps us feel prepared. But when the future is unclear, an overactive mind may respond by thinking, I just need to consider every possibility. You may rehearse conversations before they happen, imagine how everyone might react, or create extremely detailed plans for situations you cannot fully control. This isn't necessarily about wanting power. It's often an attempt to reduce the anxiety that comes with not knowing. For people who struggle with uncertainty, an unknown outcome can feel especially stressful. This may push the mind to search for more information, replay possibilities, and delay action in the hope of finally feeling certain. But life remains unpredictable, no matter how much we prepare. The more you try to control every variable, the more mentally exhausted you may become. Instead of creating confidence, endless planning can leave you feeling stuck. The fourth trigger isn't about what's ahead, it's about what happened before. Difficult past experiences, such as chronic criticism, bullying, instability, or prolonged stress, can shape how quickly your mind notices possible danger. Your brain may become more cautious because it remembers what happened before and wants to prevent it from happening again. Sometimes a present-day situation resembles an older, painful experience. A certain tone of voice, feeling ignored, being under pressure, or worrying that someone is disappointed in you. The reaction can feel much bigger than the current moment because your mind is also responding to what the situation reminds you of. You may replay the interaction repeatedly, trying to understand what happened and how to protect yourself next time. Constantly staying on guard can be mentally exhausting. When your mind is always watching for possible problems, there is very little space left for calm and flexible thinking. The fifth trigger is emotional sensitivity. Some people notice emotional and social cues more intensely than others. A subtle change in someone's voice, tension in a room, or mild criticism may stay with them longer. This isn't necessarily a weakness. It may simply mean they need more time to process emotionally charged situations. When an interaction feels uncomfortable, they may replay it repeatedly. Did that person sound upset? Did I say something wrong? Was that comment directed at me? Someone else might forget the same moment within minutes, while a more emotionally sensitive person continues processing it for hours. The more meaning your mind attaches to small signals, the easier it becomes to fall into a loop of interpretation and self-questioning. That extra processing can create empathy and awareness, but without boundaries, it can also turn into overthinking. If this is helping you recognize some of your own patterns, subscribe to Human Nature Decoded for more clear and relatable videos about psychology and human behavior. The sixth trigger is the habit of overthinking itself. Once your mind starts ruminating, it can become a self-feeding loop, like a thought carousel that is difficult to step away from. The more often you respond to uncertainty by replaying the same thoughts, the easier it becomes to return to that pattern. Thinking intensely can feel productive. It creates the impression that you are doing something about the problem. But rumination is different from problem solving. Problem solving moves toward a decision, an answer, or a next step. Rumination keeps circling the same fears without reaching one. You might replay a conversation 10 different ways, but still have no new information. You may imagine every possible outcome, but still feel no more prepared. Over time, the mind can begin using this pattern automatically whenever something feels uncertain or emotionally uncomfortable. The loop continues not because it is useful, but because it has become familiar. The seventh trigger is the constant background noise of modern life. Notifications, messages, news, short videos, emails, and endless information keep asking for our attention. Even when nothing serious is happening, the mind rarely gets a truly quiet moment. Each notification is a small interruption. Each new piece of information creates another decision about what to read, answer, remember, or ignore. Over time, these demands can lead to mental fatigue and make it harder to focus clearly. Multitasking can also create the feeling of being busy while leaving the mind scattered. You switch between tasks, but part of your attention remains attached to whatever you were doing before. Lack of sleep makes this even harder. When you're tired, emotions may feel stronger, patience becomes shorter, and worries can be more difficult to put into perspective. Modern life may not create every overthinking pattern, but it can amplify the ones already there. Without enough quiet time, your mind has fewer opportunities to reset. So those are 7 common triggers that can keep your mind in overdrive: perfectionism, fear of mistakes, discomfort with uncertainty, difficult past experiences, emotional sensitivity, rumination, and modern overload. These triggers often overlap. One may activate another. Perfectionism can increase the fear of mistakes. Fear of mistakes can increase the need for control. The need for control can create more rumination, and a tired, overstimulated mind can make every pattern feel stronger. The important thing to remember is that you cannot always force yourself to think less. A more useful first step is awareness. When the loop begins, pause and ask, what triggered this? Am I trying to make something perfect? Am I searching for certainty that doesn't exist? Am I reacting to the present moment or to something this situation reminds me of? Am I actually solving the problem or just repeating it? Recognizing the pattern creates a small amount of distance from it. From there, you can reduce some of the fuel, set more realistic expectations, allow room for mistakes, take one practical step instead of planning every possibility, and create small pockets of quiet throughout your day. You aren't broken, your mind may simply be relying on patterns that once felt protective. By noticing those patterns and responding with more patience and awareness, you can begin creating more space between a trigger and the thoughts that follow. Which of these 7 triggers do you recognize most in yourself? Share your answer in the comments and subscribe to Human Nature Decoded for more videos about psychology and human behavior.